All right. It is Sunday, 8/26/2018. So I just got done going through this. I'm going to go through this with you. If you guys watched Rick's latest little video, that might look familiar. And I'm not going to show you the whole thing because this is his paperwork. However, I did add about 4 pages. And just for documentary purposes, there's a copy going to Mr. Stoneman, and there's a copy going to Mr. Kelly, and that's it right there. So, and then, of course, here's your motion to dismiss, memorandum. So this is a memorandum. This is my copy. This is his copy, and that's Mr. Stoneman's copy. Okay? Always do that. That's your certificate of service. If you look on the back page, blah, 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 there's certificate of service. This I just printed out from the Utah 3rd District Court. I know Rick has some, but it's just easier. You know, it just comes out of the printer. Okay, so suggestion. This is the Federal Child Support Enforcement Manual, Child Support. Okay. This thing is huge. You can get it from deceptionstoppers.com, from Amen. And, you know, these people are such fucking frauds. Okay, so I got to about page. I went through this and, you know, just kind of did some stuff. First thing I did was every time it talks about establishing paternity, I just made a little note, you know. Just going, whoop, there it is too, there it is. Here's something about consent. Here's about the calculator, locating and assets of the parents. Here's something about the proof is a contract for federal funds. If you look, Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996, blah, 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 blah. Under the new law, each state must operate a program meeting federal requirements in order to be eligible for what? For fucking money. It's all about the money, dude. Okay? And in order to establish, you must first establish. It says it right here. You got to establish paternity. You must establish paternity before you get a support obligation. Okay? Here's a little thing about the fees. And they recover the fees from the non-custodial parent. Well, wait a minute. What? I got to pay for this? I got to pay for this butt fucking? No, thanks. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. This is all, you know, establishing paternity establishment, What did I put here? Okay, so here's the little part that Amen and Rick totally talk about all the time. Okay? The federal statute requires a national child support program to be administered by a separate unit under the control of a person designated Secretary, U.S. Department of Human Services, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Boom. Okay? So it's not federal. It's not state. It's a single and separate organizational unit. Okay? Establishing paternity. Secretary is required to establish minimum organizational and staffing requirements for state child support agencies and to review and approve the state plan. Here's a great one. The Office of Child Support Enforcement also provides under a contract with the American Bar Association, okay, training and information. So they're in contract with all the fucking attorneys that you think are going to help you out. Not true. Here's special grants for new ways to enforce, okay? $15 million for each fiscal year for special projects on how to promote improvement in interstate enforcement. So how do we get all the states to tell on the guys, hey man, we got this guy working here, we got this guy working here, blah, blah, blah. So we get into all that. The state's compliance with federal requirements for expedited procedures, because we all know that all they want to do is use you, your name, your social security number, and roll you through the system and get you on child support. Because why? Because it's all about the federal funding. Okay? Oh, and look at this. They get sanctioned if they fail to produce. So, you know, under the audit, you got penalties if the states don't get a certain amount of people into their system and into court order, child support orders, whatever, these family courts, these fucking backwards ass kangaroo courts. Here's another EPP. And then this there talks about the federal share of retained child support collections. What does that mean? That means the feds get paid off, okay? And the state takes some money. Here's a little bit about the money. Here's a little bit about the money. Here's the state role. Social Security Administration Act requires every state operating a TANF program to conduct a child support enforcement program. Federal law requires applicants for and recipients of TANF to assign their support rights to the state. What? What does that mean? That means you no longer own your child. In order to receive benefits, you got to sign your fucking rights away to your child. In addition, each applicant or recipient must cooperate with the state to establish the paternity. Wow. Establish paternity. Seems like they should have done that, huh? Of the child born outside marriage and obtain child support payments. Okay? So, if you go through it, I'm not TANF, and you need my consent, single and separate unit. Each state is required to designate a single and separate organizational unit of state government to administer its child support program. Okay? So, in order to get federal funding, you got to set up a bogus government agency. And then here it talks about the cooperating arrangement between the cops, the courts. Oh, this is great, man. States also must enter into cooperative arrangements with the courts, law enforcement to assist in child support agency in administering. So, in other words, they need a bunch of jackbooted fucking thugs, bunch of revenue agents walking around in military uniforms with tasers and fucking firearms to try to enforce this program. These agreements may include provision for reimbursements to court and law enforcement officials for their assistance. Oh, look at that. They're in contract with the law enforcement, the sheriff's department, police department. Here's some more stuff I wrote down. Here's all color of law. Other enforcement techniques must include, this is awesome, dude. You know what they do? Imposing a lien against real and personal property for amounts of overdue support. Okay, so stop. If you go through all of these, this is all color of law. Okay, because what they have to do is they have to write a regulation or a Utah code annotated that says that they're allowed to lien your property. They can't take your fucking property, dude, without a warrant. They can't take your fucking property without going to a hearing and due process. But if they write in a little thing, Utah code annotated 76.B section 2 I3A that says that they're allowed to do it, right? It's all fucking fraud. Withhold state refund taxes. Fuck you, dude. That's my money. You can't do that. Report the amount of overdue to a consumer credit bureau. Well, it's a fraud. It's a void judgment, and you can report it and fuck up my credit. You cocksuckers. Requiring individuals to have demonstrated a pattern of delinquent payments to post a bond or give some other guarantee to secure payment of an overdue void child support fucking bogus ass judgment. Oh, I wonder who keeps that bond, huh? Here's determining paternity again. Here's fraud. There's more fraud. Denying passports. Motherfucker, I have the right to travel. Okay? You can't deny me a passport. If I want to go to fucking Mexico on a vacation with my girlfriend, you don't have the right to tell me I can't do that. Okay? You are way out of your jurisdiction. Undertake to establish the paternity of a TANF child. I mean, they talk about establishing paternity, dude. Like I said, I only got to page 20. I'm going on and on and on. Okay? They're probably going to argue that my case is different, but it's all void, okay? Because when you talk about non-TANF families, states must provide, once an application is filled, the same child support collection and paternity determinations services which are provided for TANF families, okay? In other words, you can't say that I'm different just because I didn't have public assistance, okay? Never had public assistance, welfare, TANF, AFDC, housing, none of that shit. Okay. So you can't say that you inserted child support into my fucking divorce decree with jurisdiction because I owed the state. You never had, what do they call it? An interest in my, property before all this happened. So, like I said, I made some little things here. I don't consent. I don't fees. All the fees and FOS, man, they all say that they can be recover the costs from the non-custodial parent. Well, fuck you, dude. I didn't ask for all this. You're not going to take money from me. I didn't agree to this goddamn bullshit. Okay. So, like I said, I went through this. You guys might want to look at this, man. I've got so much crap. I only got to page 20, and it is fucking ridiculous, man. Talk about contracts again. You have to have consent. There's no consent. Here's a great one. Paternity establishment. Without paternity established, children have no legal claim on their father's income. I think if you know about Rick and you know about Amun Osiris, you've probably heard that. Here, first fucking page under establishing paternity, first line. Paternity establishment is a prerequisite for obtaining a child support order. So where's the paperwork that I consented and acknowledged that that was my child? Well, if you start looking, it's all right here. Okay? This law required states to have in effect the following: a simple civil process for voluntary acknowledging paternity, under which a state must explain the rights and responsibility of acknowledging and afford due process safeguards. Gee, that would have been nice. Procedures must include hospital-based program for voluntary acknowledgement of paternity during the period immediately preceding or following the birth of a child. So this is the first thing that they have to do. Okay. Now think back, gentlemen, when you were standing there and that baby came out of your girl. Okay. And you were happy and joyous and loving life and making sure that thing had 10 and 10. And yeah, this cute little nurse just out of nursing school come over and say, hi, hey, congratulations. Hey, you want to sign this? And it was the birth certificate. Did they tell you that signing that birth certificate was going to make you a slave to ORS for the rest of your life? Did they tell you that? If you read through the rest of this, this is just amazing that they get away with this shit. Okay, it's all about the language, dude. Look at the fucking words that they use in here. This is a law. Okay, so basically they have to write a law, which it's not a law. It's a, regulation, code, ordinance, statute, whatever. Okay, so they write a law in which voluntary acknowledgement of paternity creates a rebuttable. What the hell does that mean? Well, rebuttable means an assumption. So you can rebut it. You can say, hey, wait a minute, fuck you, right? Or at the state option, conclusive presumption. Now, that is a fucking oxymoron, dude. That is saying like blue-green, okay? Because conclusive means what? Convincing, decisive, definite, certain, totally, awesome, yes, right? What the fuck is a presumption? That's assuming something without all the facts. So when a presumption is an assumption is I don't have all the fucking facts. So this is at a state option that you can have a totally dude, I don't know what the fuck. I mean, so let's just write a code or regulation that says, yeah, we can do that. And then here's another pass this fucking code and we'll say that, we can do that. I mean, it's just, the more you go through, there's no accuracy. This talks about due process. Anyway, man, I was like yelling and screaming at this fucking book the other day. Then it said, look at this, man. Look at the balls on these motherfuckers. The state CSA, Child Support Enforcement Agency, okay, which is, remember, They're nobody. They're a bunch of fucking clerks in a big high rise that are stealing your fucking money. They're a bunch of secretaries, okay? Have the power without the need for permission from a court or administrative tribunal to order me to give up some of my genetics, okay? So, motherfucker, get in here, bend over, poop in this fucking bottle, okay? And we're taking your fucking property. What? Man, these people are out of, further testing can be ordered. Yeah, fuck you, dude. You're not ordering me to do shit. I am so fucking mad at these people, man. Anyway, you might want to get this, okay? Like I said, I only got to page 20 and I've destroyed them. I can't wait to get into court. I'm going to bring this in, and these, envelopes right here. We're going to put one of these and one of these in here. So this is the one. Let me take a fucking breath, man. These fucking people are such goddamn criminals, man. Anyway, this is the one that, Rick was talking about today, Sunday. And then I added a bunch of shit to it. Hale versus Henkel. Then he talks about the taking by a state of the private property of one person or corporation without the owner's consent for the private use of another. In other words, you're using my money, okay? In this book, it says that you go into contract with federal, and it's for public assistance and offset welfare expenditures. In other words, you're using my fucking money to offset and pay for public assistance and food stamps and housing, and fuck you. Okay? That's not my problem. It's not my job to take care of some girl that's got 9 kids with 4 boys that are all in prison or whatever. Okay? It's not I don't care, dude. Okay? You're going to have babies. You're going to make bad choices and the state has to pay for it. You go to the state and you want, that's money that you need to pay back, lady. Okay? Not me or your husband, boyfriend, whatever that took off to Mexico or whatever. Okay, I'm sorry, but it's not my responsibility. Okay? And then we go through a bunch of stuff. I'll just kind of stop it there. You can read it, I guess. Okay. There's the non-assumpsit thing. Says basically, oh, shit. Whew. Okay. Sorry about that. Says that we don't have a contract, proof of a contract or agreement. We don't have that. Okay. And then I added some stuff. Bill of Attainder. Okay. This is Dred Scott versus Sanford. State citizen is immune from any and all government attacks. Without a contract, it's null and void. Okay. There's Marbury versus Madison, Murdoch, Shuttlesworth. And then I put the law in there and then I said what they did. Okay. State has deceptively written legislation to adhere to federal guidelines to receive grant money from the federal government, which allows, through color of law legislation, to suspend driver's license and incarcerate. State is fully aware this is not legal. That's done by coercion and under duress. There's Miranda. There's Norton versus Shelby County. Miller versus U.S. Poindexter. Brady versus U.S. ORS, the state uses a birth certificate to gain access to paternity records and then uses this as their authority to establish. Okay? And then, this is the best one I attached. ORS required to follow specific guidelines for federal funding found on page 816 of the Federal Manual of Child Support. Okay? And I quote, paternity acknowledgement must be filed with the state birth records agency. However, before a mother or alleged father can sign paternity, the birth certificate, each must be given a notice, both orally and in writing, of the consequences of signing this acknowledge. So if you knew that you were going to go to fucking jail for signing the birth certificate, would you have done it? Probably not. Okay? So that is fraud and duress, and it's void because it wasn't full disclosure. Okay? And then I put here at the end what they did, and it must be dismissed, and I want all my money back, motherfucker. Oh, did you guys know that there are 800,000 codes and 183,000 federal regulations? Yeah. So anyway, man, I'm telling you what, dude, here's your remedy right here. Go in there and destroy them with their own garbage. Okay. It's all right here. How they violate the law, how they order you to do shit, how the feds tell the state to write these codes and regulations to make them, kind of, sort of quasi-judicial. And then that's what you get. So you know what? That's what you get, child support. October 10th, I'm getting your ass. Peace, you guys.